पॅसेज नंबर 10 मे 1980 पेपर सेकंड. In the Legislative Council, a member said, Sir, reference was made to the fact that this government will continue the policies of the previous government so far as procurement of food grains is concerned. This problem has to be considered in further detail by this ministry. I am not in a position to speak with authority on this subject because facts and figures have not been placed at the disposal of the honorable members of the House. In fact, considering the importance of the food situation, I would have thought that one of the first acts of the present ministry would have been to prepare a white paper on food and place it before the honorable members for their consideration. It is impossible for us to argue whether procurement is necessary, whether controls are essential, whether the distribution machinery is working well, and all that without knowing what the present position is. I think the time has come when they should take a very firm decision on such issues, whether this procurement system should continue or whether it should not be replaced by a levy system which is linked with the marketable surplus available with the farmer. In determining the marketable surplus, and I speak as a humble farmer myself, it is necessary to provide not only for seeds for the next crop but also for personal consumption of the farmer's family. What is far more important is there should be enough paddy to pay wages in kind to many of the laborers who have to work for wages till the next harvest. In regard to agricultural production, there is only one point I would like to mention on this occasion. It has been stated that with the supply of high yielding strains of paddy, it would be possible to increase production in this state. But one of the problems in agriculture is the shortage of fertilizers, and this has been emphasized by the previous speakers. Therefore, the whole question of supply of fertilizers for producing high yielding varieties has to be looked into thoroughly. The distribution of fertilizers is a big problem, and although many governments have tried to solve it, I am afraid they are still faced with a serious shortage. I am very glad that reference has been made to the need for a review of the cooperative movement. Cooperation in India is a unique institution by itself. In India, the cooperative system is state profiled, state owned, state directed, and there is very little of real cooperative endeavor in all these movements. I have no prejudice against the cooperative movement as such. In fact, I do not think I am giving out a secret when I say that I am myself associated with two business cooperatives, but I think certain reforms are very essential because it has been found that cooperatives are not working well, that they have been captured for reasons other than cooperative endeavor by ambitious people. There can be no advance in this field when politics and cooperation have become inextricably interlinked. Sir, in this connection, I would also like to refer to one aspect of administration which has struck me of being of particular importance in view of the Administrative Reforms Commission, which is at present going into the task of suggesting reforms of the administrative structure of the country. The problem of district administration should receive adequate attention at the hands of government. Para. Sir, a reference was made to the Salem steel plant. Now I do realize I am treading on delicate grounds because I know that both sides of this house are extremely anxious to get the project. We talk on the one hand of inflation, of huge expenditure, and the necessity for cutting down such expenditure and reducing utilization, but at the same time, we want to have all these projects. I am sure 100 crores of rupees would be required to get the plant through. I know this Salem steel plant issue is a highly loaded issue and no popular government can afford to take the bold decision that I would like them to take in this regard. But I would like to mention only one thing in this connection. While we think of steel as a great commodity, and while all over India we seem to think that steel plants are the only measure of our development in the field of industry and want bigger and bigger steel plants costing hundreds of crores of rupees and say we must have one plant at Salem. Is it not fanatic that we should have forgotten that it is far more important to start 4 or 5 fertilizer plants rather than start one steel plant here or elsewhere? Para. Now, sir, I come to the last point. I have to speak with some restraint on the subject, considering the high academic authorities who sit in front of me in this particular chamber. I refer to the question of education. I shall now speak on free education for the pre-university class. I frankly think that this has been made a political issue. No government without courage can say that it is not a desirable thing. If you want my opinion, sir, and I am bold enough to mention this because I happen to represent a very enlightened constituency, enlightened in the sense that it is the graduates' constituency, that it is neither necessary nor desirable that free education should be introduced in the pre-university class. Over 40 to 45,000 students are attracted to the pre-university class, and any attempt made to give free education to this large number would increase the problems of academic authorities in geometrical progression when they seek admission to other professional institutions. It is stated that the government are going to draw up a list of priorities. By all means, have free education for the pre-university class. But in drawing up priorities, I would not place this as the first one. There are so many other essential things which require attention in this state. The government, I hope, will make bold to take a decision in this regard and not hesitate to tell the people that due to lack of resources, it is not possible for them to give top priority to this.